Hello everyone and welcome to Monday. Today is the start of the work week. And it's also Lindsay's birthday.
Yeah.
I mean, actually saying it that way implies that her birthday's every Monday, which is not. It's because it's you guys know how birthdays works. Anyway, her mom is actually in town, and we're going to go have dinner with her and her mom and Dan. And we're going to go, I guess, now.
Yeah.
Actually, we should have left probably like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Well, you know, life's hard. I just got it on, but that's fine. Happy birthday, Lindsay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Since we didn't sing, we could sing again.
Do it again. No, do it again.
I'm not gonna sing by myself like I did.
No, we'll all do it again. We'll all do it again. This is great.
I sang the last time by myself.
All right.
Are you embarrassed?
Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lindsay. Happy birthday to you.
Thanks, everybody.
That was great. Do you want to do a third one just for fun, or no? Okay, just checking.
Pass on that.
I thought it was absolutely hilarious that the server offered to sing the song again, and of course I was going to take her up on that offer. Whenever they came and brought that dessert to Lindsay, I didn't know that they were going to sing, and they started singing, and I was like, oh man, I'll get the camera, because she had the bag next to her. And it took her, until the end of the song to get the camera out and me turn it on. So by the time I was done, I had the camera there and they had just finished. And then the server was like, we could sing it again. And I was like, great. I'm glad that she had a good sense of humor. Anyway, again, happy birthday to Lindsay. It was nice getting out of the house this evening, and I'm always down to eat Carrabba's, even after having worked there for some amount of time in the past. It's nice to go back. It's actually far more enjoyable, in my opinion, to visit a place when you don't work there. Makes it easier to enjoy. We also said goodbye to Dan, because we won't see Dan again. Dan is going to Jacksonville for the holidays, but we will see Lindsay and her mom again. We'll see them for Thanksgiving, because they're going to join our family for Thanksgiving, which is nice. Also, Will's going to be there, just because his family is in Georgia, and he doesn't have anyone to spend Thanksgiving with otherwise. And I was like, my mom cooks for 1,000 people. You should just join us. And he was like, okay, I'll do that. But we'll also see Lindsay and Bev on Wednesday, and that's because we have moved Lunch Bunch from Wednesdays to Thursday, and we've been doing them on Thursday for a while, but because Thursday's Thanksgiving, and we still want to have lunch, we're moving lunch to Wednesday this week. We could have just canceled it, but no. Gotta have Lunch Bunch. It's an important part of the week. Once we got back here, I got started on actually a little bit more Morning Mario. Dan originally was going to leave town tomorrow, but then he told me today, he was like, actually, I'm going to leave on Wednesday. So if you want to do another little bit of Morning Mario, I'll work on it tomorrow while I'm still here. And I was like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah. I said, okay. So I came home and did another bit of that. It's currently syncing over to him through. Actually, it's done. He already has it. Fast internet is great. And I finally got started on the next set of data migration. I think it was last week. I finished the drives that are 2001 to 2015, so it covers that huge span. Those are done. So everything up to 2015 is done, aside from the few little things that I'll have to find at some point. And it's time to get started on the next set. And because as time goes on, the file sizes get bigger on the gaming side for sure, because we used to shoot the videos at 720p, and then we went to 1080p, and also we just made the quality better on the videos as well, so those are bigger. And then the vlogs especially balloon in size because we started shooting in 4K, which is way bigger, and the data rates are huge compared to the old cameras. So because of that, the same drive, the same sized drive as 2001 to 2015 will probably only be able to hold 3 years. I'm expecting it to hold 2016, 17, and 18. And there's actually no guarantee that it will. There's a chance that I'm going to start putting these files on here and be like, oh crap, 2018 doesn't fit. I'm really hoping that doesn't happen. Really hoping. But there's a chance, and I have to be prepared for that. So I've had a, what I call a dump drive, where I've just been shoving all sorts of crap. And I've had that prep kind of sorted with some of the files I need. So I'm taking the files that I need from that dump drive and putting them onto a completely new drive, and that's what I'm going to let run overnight because it's got a few terabytes to move. And then starting tomorrow, I'll be able to do a deep dive and figure out every single thing I need for 2016 to 2018. And this is important. I have to do this anyway because, like, I need more space back. I got a great deal of space back the other day, and I'm grateful for that, but I need to finish this project. I need to make sure that I see it through to the end, and it's a big deal, and it's been a big deal for a long time, and I really need to finish it. The other reason I need to finish it is I just found out the other day that some of the files that I thought were backed up onto BackBlaze weren't. They weren't backed up because you can go onto their website and it'll show you every single thing that's backed up. It's basically the same drive structure as your computer. You can look at all the files and see what's on there and what's not. And there's a fairly big chunk of files that are registered as being on BackBlaze, but they're 0 bytes. They're not actually up there. And my only guess maybe is that I was moving lots of files over to the computer. BackBlaze started to back them up, and it had backed up stuff that hadn't even transferred yet. So, like, it had started to transfer, so it was in the computer, and it noted that the file existed, but there was no data to it yet. So BackBlaze backed it up and was like, got that one, even though it was like a 0 byte file. That's the only explanation I have, because it's happened in a few different spots, and I think that's what occurred. And this isn't a recent thing. Like, some of the files were from September of last year, which means that for that amount of time, I have not had redundancy on some of this stuff, which is scary because if any of the drives would have died, that stuff would have been gone. So that's horrifying. And I still have a hard time, like, getting upset at BackBlaze over it because this is really not the intended use case of BackBlaze. It's really for just you're just using your computer all normal and not doing any crazy willy-nilly stuff. Whereas I'm like, here, have 12 plus terabytes of information. And yeah, I thought it was backed up, but it wasn't. Now it's something that can be fixed. You could fix it by, I think, just moving the files around, because that'll trigger BackBlaze to be like, oh, look, a file, and then back it up. But I'm a little impressed that from what I can tell, there's nothing on their end in the software that looks at the file sizes ever again. Like, it doesn't do any sort of check to check on the file sizes. It's only looking at the file names. And that seems a little dangerous. It might look at, like, date modified, but it hasn't been modified since then. So if you were working on, like, a Photoshop document and you would continue to save it, maybe it's still getting the most updated form of that. It's not just looking at the file name, but it's not checking file sizes. Definitely not doing that, because after a year, there are huge chunks of files on there that are 0 bytes, and that's not good. Looking at date modified is not enough. It should also be considering the file size, because if it did, it would have picked up on all this and fixed it, but it didn't. Now I have to fix it. I have to go in manually and find out what's wrong, which files are missing, and then do something to them. Either change the file names or move them or something to make the system be like, oh wait, those. So you can understand that why I'm a little more invested in just be like, you know what? I'm gonna back these up myself and get this over with. So I have hard copies and I know they're there. Yeah. It's always something. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, let's meet back tomorrow, shall we?